Hello everyone, this is Chase Pounds. In today's video, in tonight's video, I'm going to be discussing ragtime music. Now, what brought me to the subject is that I always had a interest in ragtime music. It's been one of my favorite genres of music, along with doo-wop, jazz, and kind of a little bit of pop music. Now, ragtime has its roots significantly here in St. Louis, Missouri, in the Midwest. Because with the famous musician Scott Joplin, he's often considered the king of, of ragtime of the particular genre of music. Ragtime was prevalent. Ragtime music was prevalent between the turn of the century, between 1895 up to I would say about 1915, 1916, 1915, 1916, prior to the U.S. involvement in World War I and with the popularity of jazz music. And it's kind of obscure of where the origins of ragtime originated, and particularly, as I said before, has its roots in St. Louis, Missouri. Though before Scott Joplin, the ragtime music was probably played, but he's been credited to one of the earliest black musicians to popularize the genre and to introduce it to a mainstream white audience. And of course, at that time period, ragtime music was considered African American music or race music, and it was largely unknown to the white audience until, I guess, by the turn of the century, early 1900s. It was with the recordings and phonograph records, it began to be take notice among the white communities, though it was mainly popular among the white young generation at the time. Yet at the same time, the elder white generation disapproved of it. In some cases, perceived it as a form of corruption or a bad influence for the younger generation. Which has always been the standard in new current pop music among young generations. It was the same case with ragtime, then later on with jazz, then with swing music, then of course with most famously with rock and roll in the 50s and 60s, then in the 80s, even in recent years with hip hop. That's always been the norm. And ragtime also has its roots in vaudeville, Tin Pan Alley, as well as a lot of minstrel shows, which in a lot of the covers is sometimes have like coon or like minstrel stereotypes in them. And I have some pictures up. It has some pictures of some ragtime some photographs. Excuse me. But what was I had some pictures, but I don't know what happened to why the pictures aren't showing. But again, Ragtime had its roots in minstrel performances. Such song as "Hello My Baby," which is a favorite Ragtime song, and I actually playing it as one of my as part of background music. It's part of my background music, and the song is particularly associated with the Looney Tunes. Is mostly remembered for the Looney Tunes cartoon episode of Michael J. Frog, which made his debut in 1955 in the cartoon episode called On Froggy Evening. And the evening was the subject is about a man who discovers a singing frog and tries to showcase it to the public, which every time he showcases the frog, he thinks people think he's crazy, thinking that the frog can't sing. And every time he shows the people the frog doesn't sing, but when he's to himself, the frog sings, which drives him crazy. And this song I also know, particularly know from other period movies and films, is one of the songs they play in the made-for-TV version of A Night to Remember, which is about the Titanic, and the band depicts the band playing "Hello My Baby," which is not, I'm not sure it's actually been known that the band actually played "Hello My Baby" on the actual Titanic, but it's one of my favorite Ragtime songs, along with Scott Johnson's "Elite Syncopation," which was also featured in the Titanic film SOS Titanic, which the band depicted playing that. And the Entertainer, I kind of like that. I remember hearing it when I was at the Science Center at the Titanic Museum. And that's one of the songs I particularly like of the Ragtime genre. There are other popular Ragtime musicians outside of Scott Joplin. I forget the names of them, but others included Alexandra's Ragtime Band, another one. And primarily, Ragtime was mostly popular in America, in the U.S., as well as overseas in Europe, certain countries in Europe, including England. And it remained popular between the 1890s all the way up to 1915, up to the outbreak of World War I, as jazz became the dominant pop genre of music. The Ragtime would make resurgence in over time in later decades, mostly in film and television. The 70s saw a big resurgence in Ragtime music with the film The Sting, which plays Scott Joplin's The Entertainer. But the odd thing about the film is set in the 30s when Ragtime wasn't popular music. Then other movies included the movie about Scott Joplin's life, which starred Billy D. Williams. Then you had a film called Ragtime, as well as a Broadway musical named called Ragtime. And hence even though Ragtime is still is studied and explored in history museums, which I had the opportunity of going to the Scott Joplin Museum, which is in my local hometown, town. I went there in the summer 2013, and I got a chance to look into his house. And as I said, ragtime is a favorite genre of music, and I think it's interesting. The rhythm and the style, classic style. This is another video about Chase Propel. Feel free to subscribe to comment to my video.